The International Court of Justice last week ordered Israel to put an end to its 57-year-old occupation of the West Bank.
By 11 votes to 4, is of the opinion that the State of Israel's continued presence in the occupied territory is unlawful.
In order to find out what the occupation today feels like, I went to the Nur Shams refugee camp near Tulkarem in northern Palestine, very close to the Israeli border. According to the local camp committee, 300 houses have been destroyed, more than 3,000 damaged. Public buildings have been wiped away. 80 people have been killed. There are regular air attacks. All of this since October the 7th last year. In parts of this camp, the scale of destruction feels like Gaza. I went to meet the local people, and this is what they told me. Unbelievable, the scale of the destruction here.
The Israeli army came here and dug very deep holes in the street, destroying the sewage system. Look at all of this. This is the remnants of the sewage system. It's about wrecking the infrastructure of Tulkarem and making the place unlivable.
شبكة ابن أسير سابقا يعني وطلع وعاد بقى يشتغل يبيع ذرة لبسطة ولا هي مرت أخوي بتقول خلي تساعدينه يعني لو كان يعني انقصفت معاه مع ابنه.
There's so much tragedy everywhere you go here. Ishmak lost her son last Saturday. He was asleep on the 3rd floor of her house and the bomb landed and destroyed the house obviously. And the friends who picked up the body said he was in the sleeping position. He was a very popular boy. He sold corn, well respected and liked. One of the things which is obvious walking along this devastated street is one of the Israeli tactics. You can see there, that's where the stairs used to be. But, so they target the stairs, remove them, and lo and behold, the building becomes uninhabitable apart from the 1st floor because nobody can get up to the rest of the rooms. Mahmoud has been telling us about this house. Must have a large house, 4 floors, must have been splendid. So they've swept away the front face. That's his front room. You can see it from outside. Same story everywhere, by the way. These big military bulldozers went through this area and they were too large for the street, and so they just knocked out the front face of the houses. That's his front room, and I dare say he sits in it in the evening, but this is also very dangerous because what's holding up the rest of the house? It could collapse at any moment. Mahmoud says he wasn't here when they did it, he just came back, he'd been away and discovered the devastation which had been inflicted on his home. He's lived in this house for 30 years. The top floor, he just refurbished it so his son, who's got married, could come and live here with his new wife. So one of the things which the Israelis are casually and wantonly destroying is people's families, their homes, their dreams.
في بقى هون حاط مخزن بضاعة دكانة شايف هاي دكانة برضه راحت.
That's his house. That was Mahmoud's house, and this was his livelihood, his small shop, a candy shop. And so the Israelis simultaneously destroyed his house and his livelihood. It's so wrong.
الدمار صار لحد الساعات 6 مرات they coming, he beginning to ask me what's my name. As he said for me, you making bomb boot.
They said you made bombs.
Okay.
Yeah.
I said no. I'm 67 years old.
So am I. It's good
What?
age.
What do you want from me? He said for me, we do trouble for him. I said for him, you are doing the trouble for me.
I'm sitting in the front room of Haddad and Amma Yusuf's house. They moved here when they got married 43 years ago. This house has been invaded and destroyed 6 times now in the last 6 months. And when I asked Haddad, why haven't you moved out? He said, I've nowhere else to go. Haddad also says that they accused him of being a bomb maker. He says, look, I'm 67 years old. I don't know anything about that. But they still came in here and destroyed his house. Why are they doing this, Haddad?
They hate us.
Yeah.
They want to kill everybody.
So you brought all your children up here?
Yes. كلهم. And they are married here.
They're married here.
And they have children. I'm a grandfather. 10 children I have.
And how do you get water, electricity, the sewage and all that sort of thing?
الكنانة هي.
بالنسبة للحمامات مثلا كل المدمرات والهذا.
هاي دار جاري. هسه هو طلع منها. أنا بستعمل حمامي لهون. لما بصير هذا الحكي بنخلي البيت. نسحب حالنا بروح عند دار أخوي. طبعا من هناك بتجينا الفيديوهات شو بيسووا شو بيعملوا. Hey, here is the video. Here. That's my house.
That's your house.
Yes. هم يهدوا في البيت. هم يهدوا في البيت.
So Haddad is showing me a video of his house being destroyed here. The Israeli bulldozer is going back and forward into the front room. We asked Haddad what message he might have for the rest of the world, and he said, well, the rest of the world, and particularly the West, talks about democracy and freedom and human rights. Well, there aren't any of those things for Palestinians. Nobody cares about Palestinians. As far as the West is concerned, the Palestinians have no humanity at all.
40 سنة مساكنين فيه أو إن شاء الله بنعمر إن شاء الله بنعمر.
The Israelis blew in the front of the house, including the stairs which used to link the 3 stories of the building. And so when this lad wants to go to his home, he has to scramble up that mess of concrete you can see there. So here we are in this little square. That pile of rubble about 30 yards away. It used to be a 4-story building. 3 stories were the local youth club, and one at the bottom was the kindergarten. And then over here, these 3 buildings have been shelled out. And there is the United Nations Relief Agency, which I'm told is still functioning, but clearly it's seen a hammering from Israeli forces as well.
راح المخيم وبكى رايحين يصلوا يعني هم راجعين من الصلاة.
كيف قتلوهم؟
والله واقفين مع الشباب يعني ما بتخرفوا ما شافوا الا الصاروخ جاء عليهم. صاروخ؟ صاروخ. طلع بده يروح يتريح صلى وهذا بده يتريح بداره ولا هم كانوا على الدرج. وابني هذاك الصغير بكى برا وتحاصر مع اللي تحاصروا واستشهد الله يرحمه محمود الصغير. بقول فوتي يما بقول في زناني بقول طيب يما هيني فتت رديت عليه فتت. فيش ثواني قاعد بدي اصلي ولا حس طلق. كام من النوم راح عند اخته على المطبخ قال لها يا اختي ديري بالك على اولادك وصلى وديري بالك على اولادك، رد حضنها ورجع كلتني مرتين حضني وكان يديري بالك على اولادك، ايتام هذول الصغار ايتام هذول، وما فيش ثواني الا صوت طلق طالع، طلعت ولا ابني بيصرخ، انا كنت بجوز محمود يعني عشان محمود برا، ولا هو طلع سليم، جليت ما ضل براسك سليم دمه دمه يشكع شكع، سحبوا لي اياه قعدوا لي اياه هون حطيته على حضني دمه يشكع. يعني تصوري انا يعني صافي لحد الان انا ابني بحضني مش قادره اعمل له شيء ودمه يشكع وانا الحمد لله.
It's very hard to take this. The rubble here, she has 5 of her sons. She's lost them 2, hit by rockets as they came back from the mosque. One was sniped, another hit by a bomb. She says none of them were wanted, there was nobody looking for them. Devastation to her life, it goes without saying.
لا إله.
Everyday life really here in Tulkarm.
والله يا خالتي أنا لما أفقد 5 يعني صعب يعني بتذكر اليوم فتحت خزانتي قصفر، فتحت خزاني لقيت أوعي أولادي صرت أحضن فيه وأبوس فيهم يعني أبوس فوعيهم يعني صعبة إنك تفقدي 5 من الدار ما يضلش حد.
Malabal is saying that it's tough for her. She sits here in the family room surrounded with the memories of her son. She goes into their closets and smells their clothes. She thinks of them all the time, but of course they're not here.
برضو احنا اخذنا الصبر من اهل غزه يعني لما عيال راحت الله يعينهم الثانيين. يعني انا بكيت اطلع على التلفزيون على الشاشه اطلع قبل يستشهدوا اولادي، يا الله يصبرهم الله يعينهم. يعني قعدت مع المصاب يعني والحمد لله وصبرنا يعني الحمد لله.
Palestinians living in terror, death and destruction all around. No sign at all that Israel will listen to the advice of the highest court on earth and bring an end to the horror.